You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
AngryMarks.com. Hopefully you're listening to the show now at AngryMarks.com, www.AngryMarks.com. I'm joined by my partners in crime, the bearded wonder himself, Zane Paisley. Zane, how are you, man?
I feel like Rocky on Christmas Eve in Moscow training. It's so cold up here, so much snow, but I'm ready for Ivan Drago.
Haha. And then we also are joined by the NWA Continental Champion himself, the Morning Star, Will Huckabee, who's down there in North Carolina. And it's even cold in North Carolina, Will.
Yes, it is. But you know what's really cold, Rick?
What's that?
The fact that you've been telling all of our listeners to go back and listen to all the great episodes of the Undisputed Wrestling Show, and not once have you ever mentioned that I am a previous guest. Not once.
You are a previous guest, Will, but I think people have come to appreciate your efforts. They know you're there. They get to listen to you every week now. Maybe you're just taken for granted now, Will.
I think so. I'm starting to feel kind of used, man.
Yeah. I am your prophet, Rick Craig. We've got a great show tonight, hour number 2. The owner of First State Championship Wrestling, 1CW, Stevie Ray Styles, the head honcho, is going to be with us.
Hello.
Stevie Ray Styles, how are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Doing wonderful. This is Rick with the Undisputed Wrestling Show, and I'm joined by my cohorts, Zane Paisley, and the NWA Continental Champion himself, the Morning Star, Will Huckabee.
Awesome. Sounding good. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, we're very glad to have you. I wanted to initially, I guess, talk about the background of the promotion, how First State Championship Wrestling came into existence, and I guess what was the premise behind it? What did you want to accomplish when it got started?
Well, I actually started in 2003, and the company back then was called Delaware Championship Wrestling. I started it with another friend of mine, Jeff Rocker. Him and I ran it till about 2006. Jeff moved to Florida. I took 2 years off. I had some back surgery, and then came back in 2008 and renamed it First State Championship Wrestling, and been rolling ever since. We, had a vision to build our local promotion, trying to use local stars. We got a wrestling training facility up and going now. We have 14 full-time students. Really, really thrilled about that. And just recently, this past Sunday, we had our TV debut. So we made our show to TV. We air every Sunday. We're starting with a half-hour slot to build into an hour slot. But hopefully big things ahead for 1CW, First State Championship Wrestling. And we're very excited. Like I said, we've been around basically since 2003. And we bring in a lot of big names, but we use a lot of local talent. So we scout the Northeast. We go all over the place. We look for the best on the indie circuit, and we try to put the best out there for everybody and make it an exciting show.
I noticed some interesting names when looking at the announcing team. Can you share?
Yeah. It was quite a privilege to have on our team and be associated with these gentlemen who helped me immensely in my progress and my development in my career. And two of my mentors, and a lot of times I don't like putting their names out there because people then, think you're rubbing it. But now that you brought it up, yeah, King Kong Bundy and J.J. Dillon, two legends in the business. I couldn't be more fortunate or prouder to be associated with these gentlemen, really helping us out not only on the commentating end, but also throwing in their input and trying to help us to develop as a federation and hopefully be a strong independent for years to come.
With their name recognition, Stevie Ray, especially now that you're just, as you just said, have a TV deal and had your first broadcast, how huge is that, just having guys of that stature bringing credibility? And not that you needed it, because you've been around for over a decade and have been well respected in the Northeast, but just for people who are just now getting acclimated to seeing the product on television, the amount of credibility those two gentlemen bring to the broadcast, how huge
Absolutely.
Is that?
Absolutely. I mean, it's huge. Let's all, think back, when we were younger, the legend, WrestleMania 2, King Kong Bundy, and, in there with Hulk Hogan. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So yeah, the credibility of where these gentlemen have been and what they've done in the business. J.J. Dillon being the leader of the Four Horsemen, being a mastermind in the business, still affiliated to the day with the Hall of Fame and the WWE, and still does a lot of things with them. The thing that really impresses me the most is, the way they work with our locker room talent. Both gentlemen are so down to earth, sharing the knowledge, trying to help these younger people out to get where they want to be. And again, I couldn't have been prouder, and know that it's only going to make things better here at 1CW. And we're thrilled to death to be associated with both gentlemen, and hope that it's a long and lasting working relationship.
We talked late 2013 with Q-Ball Carmichael, and he has nothing but high things to say about King Kong Bundy. So it's like I said, that's an interesting team. I think it's cool. Hopefully that will help get more old-time people to at least give it a shot and check out the television program. So who's
another great mind in this business? You nailed it right there with Q-Ball Carmichael. He's a great guy. He's been a good influence on my career, and while you shout his name out there, I just want to say thanks, Q. You're a good man.
Yeah, he is a good dude. So what other, for people who aren't familiar with your promotion, tell us a little bit about some of the talent on the roster. We had a gentleman named Crazy Shay on our program a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely, and it's kind of ironic you bring up Crazy Shay as the first name, because actually Crazy Shay has been on every show that I've run since 2003. This guy has never missed a show. He's traveled 7 hours one way in a snowstorm, but he's never let the fans down, and he's got a group of fans called the Lunatic Army, and they actually fit the bill. He is one crazy performer. He's done nothing but great things in First State Championship Wrestling, and actually was inducted into our first Hall of Fame class last month in December. And I couldn't have been prouder to be associated with this guy. If you haven't seen him, he's a cruiserweight type guy, but high-flying, excitement, just a great crowd pleaser. Him along with another fella that I have on our roster, local fella, Coastal State's heavyweight champion, and Eric Chappell. Up and coming fella, you guys need to look him up. Really coming along great. He's been in a feud here with the international superstar from Lucha Underground, Ricky Reyes. They've been tearing it up in 1CW, and really proud that Eric's still the champion. And he's got a couple great opponents lined up in front of him. So really looking forward to some of that. Also on our roster, one of my dear friends who's been also associated with me since 2003, and I got to put him out there. TNA star. He's been all around. He's been in ECW. He's been up and down the road. Christian York. Taught me so much in this business, and to have him be the longest reigning champion at 1CW. He's held it for almost 2 years until he's defeated last year. Proud to be associated with him and have him on our roster as well. So, we mixed the local talent with the national talent, and really, really excited about 2015 in the direction of 1CW.
Real quick on Crazy Shay, not only is he a great person to talk to, we had a blast talking to Crazy Shay.
Yes,
He's a
sir.
high player, but something people don't know about him. Fire!
Yes. Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about shows that you have coming up as far as, do you have any big events? I guess the question is the big cards. Do you do those like a lot of the promotions do? And if so, what do you have coming up?
Absolutely. We're looking to run every month this year, actually, with the TV show, so we're going to be running monthly. Last year, we only ran 10 shows. We're looking to run 12 or more this year. Starting in January, we're bringing in Tommy Dreamer. February, we got Sabu. March, we got X-Pac. Followed up in April with Brodus Clay. We got Jerry Waller coming in, Mick Foley coming in. We're bringing a lot of the legends mixed in with some of the stars, and like I said, every event in 1CW we like to think is a big event. Anytime you got J.J. Dillon and King Kong Bundy and you add anybody to those guys, not that you need to, it's an event in itself. So, we're very, very proud of our local talent, and we really, really think we're on to something here. And again, every show that we put on we feel is a big event. So we'd love to see everybody come out. We had a very, very good draw at our last event in the state of Delaware. We drew just shy of 500, and that's pretty darn good. And looking to build, obviously, we'll never be complacent. We're looking to get bigger and bigger and better. So, again, looking for everybody's support and the opportunity, and we thank you for allowing us to be on the show tonight.
No problem. This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're talking to Stevie Ray Styles. He is the head honcho of 1CW Wrestling out of Delaware. Before I kick it over to the Morningstar Will Huckabee, Stevie, I wanted to ask you, local boy over in the area, I didn't know if you've ever worked with the Bloodbound Warriors, Grey Wolf and the Red Scorpion.
Absolutely. They'll be making a 1CW debut very soon, but Grey Wolf has been part of the 1CW roster since we were brought back as First Day Championship Wrestling. He did a couple shows for me. I brought him in the DCW, and like I said, then I took a little bit of time off. He did his training at the Monster Factory. He's a great, great guy. This would be my first opportunity working with the Red Scorpion. We're working on some dates right now. I'm not going to put it out there because one of them is a surprise. But yes, the Bloodbound Warriors, what a great tag team. Nothing but good things to talk about these guys. And, yeah, let me put it out there. Grey Wolf is a dear friend and a good guy. Love his work.
And I think the WWE is trying to copy them with their latest tag team. What do you think?
I think so. Everybody is calling them a knockoff of the Road Warriors, and I see more of the Bloodbound knockoff of myself. I agree with you there, and it's a shame because I think the Ascension has enough talent that they don't need to be ripping off anybody. But that's the way that machine works up there, and I'm not going to criticize that.
Yeah, just the face paint looks an awful lot like Grey Wolf's. It just
absolutely does. Absolutely.
Let's kick it on over to the NWA Continental Champion, and Zane Paisley just let me know that King Kong Bundy was a former NWA Continental Champion. Will Huckabee, Morningstar Will Huckabee, you've got the mic.
Yeah, you just stole my thunder, Rick. I was actually going to tell him that we had a lot in common.
Okay.
Besides the fact that, I'm the current NWA Continental Champion, and like you just previously stated, King Kong Bundy was a former NWA Continental Champion. I also have a buddy of mine that I wrestled with down here in North Carolina, Vinny DiMucci, that I do believe has worked for you a couple of times. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. Great guy.
Yeah, about to say, yeah, he just messaged me and stuff on Facebook and was like, hey, tell him I said hi. So there you go.
Yeah,
now, my
shout out, Big Vin.
To everybody who knows, and I always ask this to every promoter that we have on the show, but please let our fans know, in your opinion, what's some of the most difficult aspects about running a successful wrestling promotion?
Well, obviously, you get inundated by people who always want to be on the show, and there's only so many spots to fill in the card. So, I, as a promoter, do not like turning any talent down. But at the same point, we want to put out the best out there. So one of the toughest things out there is looking at the up-and-coming talent and just telling them they're not quite ready. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to be left off the show. That's what bothers me as a promoter. Now, we all know as a promoter, you need to get off your butt. You need to get out there. You need to be in the community. You need to spread the word. You need to have your flyers up. You need to do any type of advertisement promotions that you can, the podcast, the great things that are out there with the internet today. A lot of people think that you can just promote on Facebook and you're going to draw a crowd, but, to be a successful promotion and to be a successful promoter, you got to get out there and spread the word. I pride myself in knowing most of my fan base. I never, ever try to end a show without standing at the door and shaking everybody's hand and saying goodnight and thanking them. And, some very important things, but I think the toughest thing to me is looking at some of the guys and just saying to them I don't have room for them on the show, and that's hard sometimes.
Yeah, you make a good point when you say that as a promoter, you have to go out there and you have to do the legwork. How do you feel about these companies who want to be wrestling promoters but don't really want to put in the work to be wrestling promoters?
Well, everybody, the old saying is you get out of it what you put into it, and sometimes I like to focus on my four walls and not so much everybody else's promotion. But what I don't like in the business is someone who tries to piggyback off someone else's success. I've always been one of those, if I'm going to make it, I want to earn it on my own. I want to work hard and be a leader to my guys and gals in the locker room, and they all know that I bust my butt to make sure that I pack the house. And that's why they like coming to 1CW. There's nothing better than breaking the curtain and seeing 400 to 500 people. We got a great new arena. We got new lighting. We have new all kinds of entranceway. We got a spotlight. Like I said, everything we could do to enhance it for TV, we're really trying to put it out there. So, everything that we can do on our end, we're trying to make it happen. But again, hey, I work hard and I focus on what I do. I pay attention to the business. I listen to the pros and the cons of what people say about your shows. Sometimes it's tough to take the criticism, but you know what? You only get better by it. You got to be stronger and you got to get better.
Do you think that it's harder to put together a wrestling show that you know is for TV as opposed to a regular house show? And what are the differences that you face a lot of times?
Well, the first thing that's tough that you have to get through to the guys and gals is time limit constraints. When you're out there and you're used to maybe on a normal house show giving them 15 to 17 minutes, take your intro, take your time, work the crowd, get your character into it. TV, not so much. Now you're cutting it down to 7, 8, 10. Got to watch your promos, watch everything, make sure you're, the proper things. We're doing, looking at the cameras. It's a lot involved into it, but I'll be honest with you. I have a great group that I work with. Some of them have been on TV before, so that greatly helps me. And the biggest challenge again is working with the staff and making sure that, everybody knows what the time limits are and making sure we stay within it. So we don't have to chop it for TV. Nobody wants to see a chopped match.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, let's kick it over to the bearded wonder himself, Zane Paisley. Zane, what do you have for Stevie Ray Styles?
Well, thank you so much for being on our show, and you're having a cool watching party for your television show on the 18th. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing something a little bit off the wall, probably not seen much in the pro wrestling business, but at our debut viewing show, we have a great big jumbotron in our arena that we added for TV and everything, and we decided we were going to do a free viewing party for our fans. And we had just shy of 100 people show up, enjoy some free seats and beverages with us. We also had a contract signed that was going to be for a rematch. Well, during that signing, a brawl broke out. Needless to say, when you get some wrestlers together, this kind of thing happens. These gentlemen have already been inside a 15-foot high steel cage. Didn't seem to settle the score. This time, I'm going to put them inside an octagon. We're going to put them inside an MMA octagon for free at our next viewing party on January 18th. The former champion, the Funky White Boy, going up against the new champion in Dirty Sonny D. The fans are going nuts on the internet. Both guys are hard at it and already back in the gym and training. I'm really, really excited to see what's going to come out of this one.
Well, and I've heard that you might even have a special referee for it.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Special guest referee. Hasn't been announced yet, but I'm being a guy on the inside. I got to chuckle a little bit and say, yeah, we got to make some fairness to the bingo guys. Those bingo guys have been cheating a little bit, and it's about time we get even. So this is where Stevie Ray Styles pulls a little bit of pull, and he comes in and he makes sure he gets somebody to call us right down the middle.
Well, and then your next big show, it's going to be a TV taping, right, on January 31st?
Absolutely. January 31st, big TV taping. We got Tommy Dreamer coming in along with some other stars. Christian York will be in the building. Rock and Rebel from the ECW will be coming through. Casey Carlisle, NWA's former women's champion, great ladies champion here in 1CW. She hasn't been defeated in almost 1 year. She'll be making the title defense as well against Sammy Pandora. Ricky Reyes is coming back in. He's got to face the Flying Hawaiian Kikoa, coming to us from the ECWA, making his debut back in 1CW. So looking for a great matchup out of those two guys. And again, another exciting card on the 31st. And we're looking for a big packed house for the TV taping. And really, really excited.
Well, when I saw that your flyer that had Kikoa the Flying Hawaiian, I thought that's great because he'd been on our show not too long ago and said that at that time he had begun training again, but you didn't know when he would be back in the ring. So that's awesome that he's going to be on your show on the 31st. Yeah,
we were fortunate to have him about 3 years ago in 1CW. And then due to some other bookings and our dates conflicting with someone else, we weren't able to bring him in. He did suffer his injury, and during his injury and his rehab, we tried to keep in contact with him and do everything we could to let him know that, hey, when you're ready to go, we'd love to have you back. And we do. We have 3 or 4 dates already signed for him, and really, really looking forward to the return of Kikoa. He is a great up-and-coming talent, and we're really looking forward to showcasing him.
Well, in the Delaware area, they can watch your show, your tapings on TV at noon on Sundays. What channel is that?
It's local channel 47 on the antennas, WMDT-TV. On cable Comcast, it's channel 7. If you're on the Direct TV, it's channel 117. And if you're on the Dish Network, it is channel 162. All networks cover it. We're really, really proud. It's an ABC affiliate. like I said, we started with a half hour, looking forward to hopefully growing into an hour. But again, this is where we're beginning, and we're real happy with the start and hope that it just gets bigger and better.
Well, on Sunday, right before NFL, you need to get jazzed up for it.
That's it.
And then once the NFL's over in a month, then what are you going to do on Sundays?
That's it. If we go to the cooler and grab that cold beer to watch some NASCAR, you're going to sit down and watch some Power Slam. You're going to watch some Power Slams going on Pro Wrestling and watch CW Pro Wrestling. That's what you're going to do.
No, and that's a great time slot for you.
Yes, it is. We're very happy.
I'm in Indianapolis. Rick is in Indianapolis, and Will's in North Carolina. Is there any way that we can watch your program? Is it available on Roku or on the internet or anything like that yet?
Absolutely. What we got ready to do, we just got 1CW has their own YouTube channel that just got approved and put up. Awesome. And hopefully by tomorrow we'll have the first episode of our daily show, our weekly show that was put up. So episode 1 will hopefully be up no later than noon tomorrow. Please don't hold me to that. We've had a couple problems getting things squared away, but hopefully by noon tomorrow that will be posted and ready to go, along with some other clips of some up-and-coming stuff.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm going to guess with all the limelight that you've received from your debut show this past Sunday that your Facebook is blowing up. Can you let our listeners know how they can follow you on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. It's really easy to find. I'm Stevie Ray Styles under Facebook, and also the official 1CW First State Championship Wrestling on Facebook are our pages. All our links there take you right to the YouTube channel. We'll tell you about our TV show, give you pictures of the guys on the roster, history, all that kind of stuff. That's where we're at right now, and we try to promote a lot. Like I said, we use our local TV show. We do some local radio here, and I'm one of those guys that believe in old school. I put out over 5,000 flyers per show myself, not counting posters and things like that. And we were really, like I said, really excited for 2015. Thrilled to death with the people I'm associated with. Thrilled to death that I have folks like you that give me the outlet to talk about it tonight. So thanks again, guys, for allowing me to be on the show, and really hope that you get a chance to check us out on the YouTube channel and let us know what you think.
Oh, we're absolutely going to do that. This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're talking to Stevie Ray Styles. He's the main man over at First State Championship Wrestling. Before I get to my next question, Stevie, I want to give a quick shout-out to Regina Stachnik.
Yes, hey, my dear friend. She's a great supporter of 1CW. Yes, she is.
She's a great supporter of professional wrestling, a good friend of Grey Wolf, a great Facebook friend of mine. She's the one who hooked me on to Stevie Ray Styles. She's the one who hooked me on to Crazy Shay, and I'm finding all sorts of great wrestling up in the Northeast that I wasn't overly familiar with. So thank you to Regina for, getting me these contacts, I guess. So that's awesome of her. Thank you, Regina.
Yeah, much love. She is a sweetheart of a lady. I tell you what, when you ever get the opportunity to meet this woman, she is one sweet gal. Thanks, Regina.
Stevie Ray, looking at how professional wrestling works today, especially on the independent scene, you see a lot, and I can speak to it personally from Indiana, believe me, seeing independent promotions that actually want to work together and promote professional wrestling, not necessarily in the same card, but promote that professional wrestling is alive and well in your state and not try to run each other down and tear each other's flyers off the poles and stuff like that. How difficult is that for you, and what's your thoughts on cooperating with other promotions that may be in your area?
Well, it's kind of ironic you bring that up. This past August, I reached out to all 6 wrestling federations in the state of Delaware to try to put together a super show and feature every one of their champions, allowing every promoter to book their champion in the match against their opponent of their choice and all that. We were able to get 4 of the federations out of 6 to come on board. We put on a show at the Delmar Little League to raise some money for the Little League down there in Delmar. It was a great show. To be honest with you, there are some promotions that work hand in hand and allow each other to flyer each other's show. I'm the guy that let the other promoter get up in the middle of the ring of my intermission and promote his show. I've been known to do that. I'm the guy that tries to help everybody. But yeah, let's be honest, flyers get ripped down, people get stabbed in the back. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and it's a shame because there's plenty of business to go around for everybody. I believe as long as there's a pro wrestling show running, then the fans are happy, and that's what it's all about. We do this for the fans. We're in this business to try to help things. Matter of fact, one of the things that I pride 1CW on is every show since we started, we've done for a cause. We do it for a benefit. We don't pocket money to the 1CW. We cover our costs. After that, we donated. You know, last one was for a little boy that had chemo treatments that needed to be done. We've done it for body slam autism. We've done it for breast cancer. We've done it for Little Leagues. We've done it for firehouses. We do it, whoever it is. Someone needs something, 1CW steps up the plate and does whatever we can to help. So, yeah, it does bother me when I'm out there trying to do this to raise money to help people and people tear down flyers. But that's the business, you know. Unfortunately, that's where we're at in this day and age.
And it's unfortunate, too, because, like you said, a healthy pro wrestling is a good pro wrestling, and it doesn't hurt to have some competition to make you better. But,
absolutely,
you know, when companies actually allow each other to compete with each other instead of tearing the business down, that's the kind of things that take it to the sewer and gutter. You know, that's stuff that needs to be eradicated.
Absolutely. I think good competition pushes everybody to put out a better product, and isn't that what we're in business for, to put out the best product that we can?
Absolutely. So who's some of the up-and-coming talent in the promotion? I guess you've talked about Crazy Shay and some of the others. I guess who's your champions? I mean, list off your champions for us. Let us know their background a little bit so we can kind of get familiarized with
Sure. Actually, the up-and-coming talent is probably the champions that we have holding our belts right now. Pretty much newcomers to the scene. Dirty Sonny Deeds, he's a local guy out of Delaware. He's been on the indie scene in wrestling in Jersey and Pennsylvania, but mostly in Delaware, Maryland. He's been in the business about 6 years. He defeated the Funky White Boy, who was a 14-year veteran here, also from Delaware, wrestled for the Functified Wrestling Federation all throughout Delaware, New York, Jersey, with J.D. Smooth in the group. He just defeated him back in December inside a steel cage. It was a little bit shady on the finish and a little bit, but I'll give him his props. He is the 1CW heavyweight champion at this time, Dirty Sonny Deeds. Also a couple of newcomers on the scene here, the 1CW tag team champions. They came out of Atlanta, Georgia. They called themselves the Hotlanta Hustlers, Muddy and Marcus Waters. Both of them been in the business just about 5 years. Again, not a long time in this business, but have decided to come up from the South and make a name here on the East Coast, and they're starting in 1CW, and boy, did they ever. They came in and defeated the tag team champions at the time of Crazy Vamp, Crazy Shay, and Kindred Carmar. The bad part about it was Kindred turned on Shay, made it a 3-on-1, so it really wasn't a fair contest. Inside the cage, 3-on-1, I was locked outside. I couldn't get in to help him. It was a disaster. Needless to say, the up-and-coming Hotlanta Hustlers are the 1CW tag team champions. I think one of the hottest talents on the indie scene right now is our Coastal States heavyweight champion, Eric Chappell. Again, coming out of the hot feud with Ricky Reyes, standing strong. Mr. Chappell has not lost since he's come into 1CW over 1 year ago. He's on the streak of 1 year being undefeated, and really looking forward to keeping that streak going. And the rumors behind the scene is he wants a shot at the heavyweight title himself. The 1CW champion, Dirty Sonny Deeds. So maybe there's something coming down the line, a title versus title. That would be awesome. We'll see what happens there. And again, we also have the 1CW women's champion in Casey Carlisle. So much history with Casey. She's a great champion. Very proud of the way she represents 1CW, former NWA champion, ladies champion, Valkyrie women's champion of actually the Valkyrie voted Women of the Year, Wrestler of the Year for that promotion. And she does a lot of work. A great ambassador for us, and we're really, really proud of her. And then there's a local title here that we have at 1CW. It's called the Indie Roundup title. It's a couple fellows here that in the state of Delaware have started a site called Indie Roundup. They go around the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland region watching shows, and what we did is we took the talent from that area, had a tournament and crowned a champion, and right now Sparta 300, a guy out of downstate Delaware won that championship. So a lot of up-and-coming talent that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of, but there's some names to look at, and currently they are belt holders in 1CW. So they'll get some feature here, and we'll get to see how they make out against some of this other talent coming in.
That's awesome. Normally, Stevie, Champ Huckabee over here has a tendency to ask our wrestling friends that come on the show, the wrestlers in particular, some of their least favorite experiences in professional wrestling working for a promoter. let's flip things. I want to ask Stevie.
You're going to put me on the spot here.
Styles, I am. I want to know what nightmare situations you've encountered as a promoter, maybe working with a wrestler.
Well, there's nothing worse than being held up for more money. You guys have probably always heard that story.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. You know, some guys are just that way. They agree to one price, you'll have it in black and white, you'll show it to them, and then still, you know, you either give me this or I'm not going out. And tough position as a promoter, especially when you promote somebody, the people are expecting somebody. And one of the things I pride myself is if I promote somebody and I put you on a flyer, you're going to show up. Other than that, you know, besides someone no-showing the promoter, which is not commonplace with 1CW. I really pride myself on being around a good group of people, and I couldn't tell you the last time I was no-showed other than the fact that someone had a problem with a flight. But I did have a couple problems early in my career because we actually ran inside a bar. So you can imagine alcohol and some of the guys that we were running with back then, the Balls Mahoney, I won't throw his name out there or anything like that. Yeah, we had a couple run-ins and a couple stories we could really elaborate on, but I'll just leave it at that.
Nice. That's funny.
Yeah, hey, when we're off the air, I'll fill in the rest of the blanks for you.
That'll be lovely. I was going to ask you, you were talking about a lot of the young talent, and you know, what I think a real successful promotion always does is be able to blend a mixture of, you know, great up and coming talent with a good mid card and still bringing in some talent that people know the names and want to see them. Do you have, are you at liberty to even talk about any of the names you've got coming up as far as bigger names for future shows for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the local guys who have really stepped up on the card, a couple of the guys out of Salisbury, Maryland, they get a tag team called 410 Massive. It was R.D. Cordova and Andre Cash. These guys are some young high flyers and really doing some good work. They added on another local fella by the name of the Gift, Trey Bailey, to make it a threesome now. There's three guys running as the 410 Massive, and each and every one of them are talented in their own way. Very athletic guys. I see a bright future for them. One of our students coming out of the 1CW school, very excited about, is a guy by the name of Joe Kerr. He calls himself Joe Kerr. Face paint looks like the Joker. What a great gimmick. He's really got the talent, and he's starting to get over. We're looking for a push out of him. But, you know, other than that, the people that I talked about are our champions, are a lot of the up-and-coming talent that we're looking at. I'm scouting a lot of talent right now in the Northeast. Like I said, you know, bringing Kate-Koa back in is really something that we're looking forward to doing. We reached out to a couple of the other people. We have our eyes on the Eddie Smooths and the Brandon Scotts and a few other people that we're working on, that not really big names yet, but these guys are some talented people. So, again, we got our eyes open on some people. We have a few surprises I can't put out there on people that I have signed and I'm bringing in, but I have them unannounced, so I can't let that out of the bag. But, yeah, we're always looking, man.
Do you have any interest in a NWA Continental Champion from North Carolina coming up to Delaware?
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to have it.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
Will, have you even been up to Delaware before? Would you entertain such a...
No, actually, and this is I don't even think he remembers this, but a couple of years ago when Vinny DiMucci was going up there quite regularly, I was supposed to accompany him when I was very green in this business. And the shows never happened. You had to cancel both times because of weather and stuff. So
yeah, we had the hurricane came up and they had a state of emergency at the firehouse. Was one of the emergency shelters. Yep, absolutely. I remember that very clearly.
Yeah, I was about to say, the pipes froze or something, didn't it?
Yeah, Yep, they had all kinds of stuff. They got flooded, and when they put the stuff through the line to clear it out, it actually froze the pipe up and it exploded, and they were the emergency center. It was a shame, man. It was a mess. I lost 2 dates back to back, but yeah, Vinny ended up coming up and doing a lot of shows, even all the way up until last year. So, you know, I'm hoping to bring him back again in 2015, and that would be the great opportunity, man. Come on up. We'd love to have you. Oh,
yeah, I'll definitely be in contact with you. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good. We'd like to have your talents displayed on there. Yeah, hey, are you able to be on TV?
Well,
That's all I want to know. Your contract doesn't hold you back.
Stevie, he doesn't exactly have a mug for television, though. That's the bad thing.
Okay, that's why he's on the podcast and radio, correct?
Oh, that's so mean.
Oh, I'll pay for that one, I'm sure.
That hurts so bad.
Yeah, I apologize.
Stevie, what's it like working out of a car auction house?
Man, let me just tell you this. Everybody, it's hard to believe when we describe it. You know, everybody says, you have to Delaware Auto Auction. This facility is second to none. It reminds me of the old days. It's an old warehouse. It's a big, big place, but it's upgraded. We got, beautiful facilities for the food. We have nice restrooms. It's got a nice lounge. I got enough seating that I can grow up to 15, almost 2,000 fans. The lighting and everything. We have bleachers in there. It's a mini arena. So when everybody says a car auction, they kind of get the wrong idea. But when they come and they see the arena set up and the lights and the ring and the spotlights, the Jumbotron and the whole thing, we have a red carpet area with a backdrop where you can go get your pictures taken with the wrestlers in intermission and before the show. King Kong Bundy or Dylan or whoever's sitting there signing free autographs, not charging $20 a pop.
Awesome.
We believe in trying to make sure that people get a little bit of a little bit of a punch for their buck. So, it's, even though we say it's at the Delaware Auto Exchange, it is one beautiful facility. And I tell you, people that come there and enjoy the show just leave there saying, wow. So, we're very, very happy to have that relationship with them right now.
Stevie, do you envision maybe down the road getting your own place, or are you going to be pretty happy with this?
Yeah, this setup right now, being able to grow to about, like I said, 1,500 fans before I would outgrow the building. We have a relationship working with the people there at the Auto Exchange. We also have our training facility there on the site, so right now it's a great, great deal for us. We not only train on site, but we have our shows on site. Allows us to do the viewing parties and some of the other things. We're also branching into the MMA business. We have some MMA fights. We're going to do our second round of fights on January 17th. They drew about 600 and some fans for our first round of MMA fights. So we're really looking to turn it into an all-purpose facility, not just pro wrestling, but we're going to do a little MMA. We'll probably get into a little concerts and stuff like that. So we got a lot planned for the facility. There's a lot of room to grow. So right now I don't envision going anywhere, but, hey, you never know. The phone call comes. We're hoping something good happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Will Huckabee, what else do you have for Mr. Styles?
Oh, I was going to, thank you for passing it back to me, first of all, Rick. But Styles, I wanted to get back into, being a promoter and being in this business. What actually drew you to being a wrestling promoter, and why do you keep on doing it show after show?
Well, I think what got me into it was first the opportunity to be part of what was going on. I was a scholastic wrestler. I started when I was in third grade. I had a pretty darn good amateur career all the way up to college. Ended up breaking my hip, and for the second time, and the doctors were pretty much, hey man, you gotta slow down. I got into coaching a little bit. And then a good friend of mine from college was a pro wrestler, and we kind of bumped heads at that point. And he's like, man, you're doing great with your business. You're young. You got a great business mind. The people I know in this business, hey, man, did you ever think about it? And we got to chatting, and we got to talking, and ended up bumping into a third party. And it was the gentleman who owned a bar, and we all three got together, and the rest is history. But I think what drives me most about being a promoter is I have the ability to help people who are in a need. Whether it's a family that was burned out for a fire and we can gain some money or some clothing to try to help them out, or the little boy that needed money for his chemo treatments. It's stuff like that makes me feel good. Yeah, I could fatten my pocket and walk away and, die a rich man, and what good would that do me? But, being able to help people and put a smile on their faces, let them forget about the stuff that's going on in the outside world for a couple hours while they're enjoying my show. That's what drives me to be a promoter. That really does. That's what it's all about to me.
Yeah, since you've been wrestling, promoting shows, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from somebody?
I'll be honest with you, and it was from J.J. Dillon, and one of the things that J.J. told me was, be true to your fans, be true to your product, be true to your people. And it's one of those things that, it comes back to advertising. You advertise somebody and something happens, you adjust it right away. You don't keep them on the flyer. You don't keep advertising them for weeks knowing that they're going to be on the bill to make it. It's being truthful and honest. A lot of times in this business, the promoter gets the bad rap. The promoter's the bad guy. He's the dirty guy. I try to pride myself in being, if I give you my word and we agree to something, that's what business is. And, you be fair. And you ask anybody in my locker room why they like coming to 1CW, and we look out for the guys and the gals. We do everything we can to try to help further their career, help them with their merchandise, anything we can to do to help get them out there. When people say, about the TV show and things like that, my dream is one of our people get noticed nationally, and they're like, hey, that's what it's all about, I'd love to see one of these local people who don't get the opportunity because we're hidden here in Delaware to get seen on TV and then picked up. So, it keeps me on my toes, and it's a lot of fun.
This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're on the Angry Marks Podcast Network, the best network for professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. I'm going to kick it over real quick to ZP. Zane, what else do you have for Mr. Styles this evening?
Oh, well, I once again, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. And just so we can reiterate, you said that you're going to hopefully have the first week's episode on YouTube tomorrow, so all of us people that aren't local can be able to watch it. Where, again, can our listeners find out about your YouTube channel, and how can they follow your events?
Sure, absolutely. The easiest place to catch this is, and everybody's on Facebook, and we're under the official 1CW, First State Championship Wrestling on Facebook. Also befriend me, the CEO, Stevie Ray Styles. I got a nice little page, always got some good information going on. We go back and forth. Those are the two pages that we do a lot of promotion on. We did a website, but what we found out is we got more traffic going through Facebook than we did to the actual website. So that's what we're doing right now. We'd love to see you guys come check us out at the official 1CW. There'll be some information there that'll help you on the TV show. It'll also give you some photographs, some event history, photographs of the roster, the people on there. You can get a little bit of chance to see a little bit about 1CW and learn about us.
And you're doing a big match on the 18th for a viewing party for your show. But you're going to have an MMA octagon set up, and you're going to have a bout in there, correct?
That's correct. Free viewing party. We got a free championship match going to be there. It's the former champion going against the current champion, and they couldn't settle it inside the 15-foot high steel cage, so we're going to try it in an octagon this time. See if I can keep the hooligans locked out, let them settle it one-on-one with a special guest referee calling it right down the middle. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than being at a party and finding out that there's something that everybody else didn't know because they weren't there. So those people that were at our initial viewing party were so thrilled when they found out we announced this matchup that now the internet is abuzz. So we're looking to double the crowd come on the 18th.
I mean, I might just have to make a road trip out there. You want to join me, Rick? You want to go to Felton, Delaware?
Let's roll.
Awesome. Well,
hey, let me tell you, there's good hospitality here.
Stevie, I was looking for you on Twitter, and I haven't been able to find you yet. Are you on there?
Actually, we had one, and they got taken off because someone who was our, the administrator is no longer with our organization. So we're getting ready to put a new one up. Yeah, we're just getting started back up on that. Yeah, can you believe that? We don't have a Twitter.
Well, we got to work on that.
Yes, sir. It's in the works. Well, like I said, that should be up by the end of the week as well.
Well, Huckabee, before I ask my last question, I thought I might have interrupted you getting ready to ask a question. So I want to kick it back to you if you did have a question for him.
No, I'm fine. I'd just like to thank Mr. Styles for being on the show.
Hey, man, looking forward to working with you, okay?
Well, last question I had for you, Stevie, if I may, is what prompted the training facility? I guess what's the goal for the training facility, and what can you tell us about it?
Well, probably what's prompted me is for the last 5 years at the shows, I've had a ton of local people coming up. How can I get into it? Where can I train? Where can I go? Where's the closest facility? The greatest thing that we had here going on at the time was Mark and Jay Briscoe, lived very, very close, and they were doing some dojo training, and then obviously Jay being the world champion of ROH, and doing his contract obligations, their training facility wasn't up and operating as much as the students could, as they wanted to help the students out. Not another training facility in the state of Delaware at the time. So I talked to them a little bit and, talked to some people and said, hey, here's an opportunity for me to develop my own stars. And that's exactly what we're doing. We got some good students coming up and through the school right now. I got 2 good tag teams that I'm looking at. And, the Joe Kerr individual, like I was telling you about, 2 single guys. So really excited about it. And, we're actually having open tryouts this Thursday for our second class. This will be year number 2. Like I said, we got 14 full-time students that made it through year number 1. So we're really looking forward to adding on and seeing what we can do come this Thursday.
Tell you, one last shout out for Regina Stachnik. I appreciate it sincerely, Regina. You put me in touch with Stevie Ray Styles. It's a great pleasure talking to you, brother. We're going to have to keep in touch, have you back on again. Let's have some of your talent on here that we can talk to and start popping some of these shows.
Will do. We appreciate it, Rick. Thank all you guys at the Undisputed Wrestling Show. You guys are awesome. You do a great job. Keep up the good work.
We thank you, sir. Have a great night and talk again soon.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Stevie Ray Styles, head honcho of First State Championship Wrestling, otherwise known as 1CW. St. Paisley, your thoughts on talking to Mr. Styles this evening?
Oh, what a great guest and a great promoter, and it sounds like he's trying to do what's right for the wrestling business, not just what's right for his promotion.